Hello everyone, it is Mark Berman from TVMI. I'm coming to you from the lobby of the Beverly Hilton Hotel at the Summer Press Tour with my friend and my colleague, Cynthia Lieberman. Hello, Cynthia.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me.
Nice to see you. Now, we are here. First off, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Los Angeles. I worked at every studio but Disney, not on purpose, and I've been in the television business my whole career.
And you have your own business now.
And now I have my own marketing and social media, digital media, and marketing strategy company.
Now, before we get into that, I want to just address where we just came from. Now, this will be put up later in the week, so we just left the TCA Awards, the 31st annual TCA Awards, which were Saturday nights. So this will be put up. So we're going to pretend it was 5 days ago, but it really was just now. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was for the first time I actually got to really go and see. And James Corden was the host.
Yes.
And he was very funny, and there was some great programming. I got to sit with some of my favorite journalists, like you.
Right,
it was really fun.
That.
It was really fun, and the food was good too.
The food was really good, and there was some star power. We had John Hamm here from Mad Men, who won.
He was so gracious, wasn't he?
Very gracious. And one of my favorite celebrities was here, TV personality Paula Marshall.
Oh yeah, Paula Marshall. That was the first time I met her. She's very nice.
Nice lady. You know, the funny.
I tweeted her today.
Great lady. You know, the funny story about her, I'll tell this quickly. When she was doing a sitcom called Gary Unmarried, I said something unkind about the sitcom and about her, and it was very unkind. And she called me out on it and emailed me and called me a word that began with the letter A and ended with an E. Okay, 7 letters, A beginning E. And well, P.S.
Awesome.
No, it was a body part and a hole at the end. Anyway, this is a G-rated video. Okay. But anyway, so ultimately, I watched the show and I emailed her back and said, you know what, I like it. And we became friends over the years. So whenever I see her, and her husband's on the Fosters, and that was that one for the second year in a row.
Yeah, he was up there on stage. I'm like, that's that guy that we were talking to.
Yeah, and that won the second year in a row for Outstanding Youth Program. And the one award, which I didn't agree with, but that's a personal opinion. There's a Heritage Award that's given out to a show that has just made an impact in the course of history, and it was given to David Letterman for actually both his shows on NBC and CBS. But since it just ended on CBS, I felt like it shouldn't have gotten a Heritage Award. It just ended.
What would be better than that at this point?
Well, I mean, it won awards over the years.
For Hulu?
You know what? There were shows in the past that I think should get recognized that don't, like a Star Trek never got recognized. As you know, and you're aware of this because you're related to a Walton, I think the Walton should get a Heritage Award. It opened up the door to family-themed dramas.
I'm shocked that it hasn't.
You know, but anyway, so it was a great night, and thank you for joining me.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
And so let's talk about you for a few minutes. Now, I've known you over the years. You were a publicist for many places, and you know, we worked together. You would give me ratings, you would give me highlights, you would give me this. I'd write about it.
You'd give me stories, you'd give me the truth.
Right. I try to always call it as I see it, and you know, it's a business where you really try to. You know, you have to write it as you say it.
But it's a give and take.
It's a give and take, and somebody like you, who I work with over the years, we got to know each other. So if you contacted me, I always would go out of my way to write about what
You'd at least get something in there.
You'd get something. You didn't always love it, right?
It's when I didn't ask you to do it, and you did it sometimes.
Yeah, no, I get worried if people
somebody yell at me.
Right. So when people stop, that's when I get a little worried. But and you left Sony 4 years ago, right?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was just part of the mergers and international and domestic and economy. Yeah.
And you started your own company. And how did that come about? What made you decide to do that?
Well, it's evolve or die. I mean, in evolution, it's not the smartest or the strongest that survive. It's the most adaptable. And I've become very adept. I went back and got my master's in media psychology and social change, and it's a study of human behavior, how it's affected by the media, and how to use it to affect social change. It's very pioneering, and I have become very good at communicating on different platforms, and so I do all kinds of things. I do psychology, I do professional online profiling, corporate communications, publicity. It's great.
It's interesting. So you went back and got your master's after you left Sony?
Well, actually, I started when I was at Sony. I started thinking about, I worked at all these studios. I have both advertising, promotion, publicity. What can I do in the future? It's the weakest link in philanthropy. And I came across this program, and it was an opportunity for me to kind of find a new way to give back because I didn't know what to do. And this master's program, it was the only one in the world at the time. Now it's MIT, Stanford, it's all over the place. But It was very pioneering, and I'm really grateful that I did it. I started it at Sony, planes, trains, and automobiles while I was doing it, and then I finished it the year after I left.
And was it an online thing?
It was an online through UCLA and a graduate university, Fielding University, and now I do work with the USC Annenberg Lab and with UCLA, and I'm on the board of directors for the National Association of Media Literacy and Education, and I'm actually going to teach a class on discoverability at Cal State Northridge this fall, and for seniors.
And when you do an online course, is it very regimented that you have to do it a certain hour of the week, or you just do it when you have time?
No, we had maybe 2 webinars a semester. It was all done online, and I have an actual media psychology group now that lives in LA. Some of the people lived in LA, people from all over the country and the world. And we get together, and now we're all doing media psychology. We weren't when we met. But
wow, it's interesting.
We thought, we took our online relationships where we posted papers, we had reading assignments, we posted papers. The professor would then comment on them, and we'd have discussion online about them. And then we said, hey, does anybody live in LA? And so we actually took a very deep online relationship and enhanced it by having an offline relationship.
Interesting. And when you did that, started your own company, was it a very big adjustment for you going from working at a really large place with a lot of people to kind of doing your own thing, and you're in charge, it's your company? Was that a big adjustment for you?
Well, I have consulted before because I do have a lot of different skills: advertising, marketing, publicity, promotion. I worked on everything from LA Law and launching The Simpsons to Flipper with Jessica Alba when she was 14 to launching Dr. Oz when I was at Sony. I've worked on every court show there is. I've done so much in marketing and publicity that I get to do a lot of different things, and it also gives you an opportunity to learn about different ways to do business. So I'd like to have a full-time job, but at the time it was 2009, 2010, and one job, there were 700 people that looked just like you after it, and that's never happened in my career.
Yeah.
So but fortunately, I know so many people, and I've been very fortunate to get lots of work. So.
And when you start your own companies, what do you need to do? You just have to register it and get going?
Well, it's an evolving process. The first thing you have to do, if you lose your job and you decide to go out there on that entrepreneur route, is to really think about who you are and what your brand is. And now more than ever, it's one of the things that I coach people on. One of the services that I do is professional online profiling, because it's hard to write your own LinkedIn.
Yes.
Like who are you? It's like writing your own obituary.
Right.
And not really realizing that tools that can be so effective, because 85% of the HR and recruiters now use LinkedIn as one of their sifting. I mean, you don't date because you're married, but you get a plumber, what do? You Google. Google's not a verb, but you go on and you search for the plumber. You have a date, you have an employee. Well, your LinkedIn reflects you. It is your brand, and it's very important the way you tell your messages on different platforms.
Do you find that LinkedIn is probably the best brand out there in the business world?
From a business perspective, LinkedIn explains your perspective and your approach.
Right.
And then Facebook, it can be your family and your business. I post a lot of things that are about next and trends on my Facebook, but I also post, my husband's a great chef, and I'll post his food. But I'm very mindful of my online profile, because a lot of people that I'll say I'm on a trip, and people I forgot are following me, say, oh, I'm from there, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, people read my posts.
No, the problem with Facebook is, here's a problem. If you're going to a certain place and a certain person lives there, you don't want to see that person, and they contact you, when are we going to get together? You're like,
yeah, I learned that the hard way. I had to go to New York a lot when I was at Sony, and I quit saying when I was going to New York, because people would be, what's going on? Come see me, and I'd be there for 3 days on a round.
Well, I get that here. I'm at the press tour. I've been here already for over 2 weeks,
and everybody loves and knows you and wants
everybody wants to get to you. Somebody just put on Facebook, if you knew how close I was to you, we'd be sitting together. I'm like, no, and again, no offense, But this coming
You're here
to
to
this.
work.
There's a lot of work here. It's not a party. It's like you're working. And somebody actually wanted to come here and bring me Jack in the Box tacos because he knows I like them. But here's the deal. I've already had about 10 of them since I'm out here, and I just said I don't
There's no
want
Jack
any
in the Box
more.
in New York?
Not anymore.
Oh God,
But
that's so funny.
Not anymore. But listen, we're at the 10-minute mark, which means I'm going to stop this. But would you stay and come back for part 2?
Sure, it'd be great.
We're going to pretend it's the next day.
Okay, so
Right.
should I take my jacket off or something? Or
We're just going to say we're dirty
Everybody
people.
wears black.
Which,
Yeah,
by the
everybody wears
way,
black.
we're dressed up because of the TCA rules. At
Yes,
least
no,
I
I
am.
dressed up for you, Mark.
Oh, isn't that
I know
nice?
you did for me too.
I have my time. So we will be back tomorrow. We're going to pretend it's tomorrow, but we will be back. And I thank you for joining me, Cynthia Lieberman.
Thank you for having me.
And
This is great.
Before I go, part 1, where do we find you?
You can find me at LinkedIn, Facebook. Everything I do is Lieberman C.
And that's
So,
Lieberman.
Berman.
And interesting.
Cynthia.
Take off the LIE and you have my name.
I know. And then it would be if we were married, I'd be Cynthia Lieberman Berman.
Right. Well, I married a Berman, so she's Berman. But anyway, see you back tomorrow.
Thanks for having
Take
me,
care.
Mark.
My pleasure.